Cool, Karan. We are live.
Hi.
Hi, Karan. My name is Varun. I work at Scalar Academy. So thank you so much for taking the time to do this webinar with us.
Yeah, and even I wanted to join this.
Awesome, awesome. So, are you staying safe at home and stuff? Are you staying indoors? Is everything okay with you
Yeah,
there?
everything is fine. Like just lockdown.
It's all good. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Very cool. I think that's the most important, right? Your health.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, cool. So for all of our audience, so why we're doing this webinar? So let me briefly introduce Karan. So Karan is a software engineer at ClearTax India right now, and a current student at Scalar Academy. And today he has an offer from ShareChat, which is one of India's leading startups. And he studied mechanical engineering, which is surprising to a lot of people, but he's not from a CS background. From the College of Technology Patnagar
Another.
in Uttarakhand. So why we're doing this webinar? So we wanted to talk to Karan about some myths that unfortunately form in the minds of many students coming from tier three colleges. After seeing like consistent, very low or no campus placements throughout the years. So one of the biggest myths that we want to highlight in this webinar is that these students are one of the biggest myths is that these students are inherently less capable than students at primary college, which is like completely incorrect. Because I've seen countless examples of students at Scalar Academy, like Karan, intelligent, driven students who overcome the barriers they face due to their education and financial backgrounds and go on to get the best tech jobs in the country, just like Karan has done today. So Karan is here to tell us how he did it. So with the right resources, the right drive to succeed, and willingness to work hard, he overcame significant challenges and is now going to work in one of India's best tech companies. So welcome, Karan. Thank you so much for your time and congratulations on everything you've achieved. It's very, very good
Thank
to
you.
hear.
Thanks a lot.
Awesome. So can you just briefly, introduce yourself
Okay,
for the
so
audience?
yeah, so as you said, I'm a 2017 graduate in mechanical engineering from Pantnagar University. So after college, I started a small business with one of my friends, and we did this for around a year, and then we had to shut it down as we were going in losses. So after that only, I thought of moving to IT. It was not a sudden decision. Actually, before that, I prepared for the bank for a week. Then I thought that I cannot do the same job for my whole life. Okay, seriously, no offense to people who are in bank or trying to be. So then I talked with some of my friends for the career guidance, and then I thought of moving to IT. So then I started learning programming. I still remember the date, the 4th August 2018, when I wrote my first Hello World program. So after 3.5 months, I moved to Bangalore and got my first job here. So for the next 6 months, I mainly focused on development and office stuff. Uh, but then I started problem solving again, and I was going well, but something was definitely missing. I did not have guidance. I was just doing whatever I felt like. Like I was just randomly jumping from one topic to another as I wanted to learn everything. Like one day this topic, one day some other topic. So I was lacking a proper guidance, a proper course guide means course. So to my luck, the Scalar Academy announced the first experience batch in July, and obviously I was practicing for the last 2 months, so I could clear that exam. So from then on, the best thing was that just I just had to study now, which I think is the easiest thing to do. Other things like which questions to do, which topic to study, which topics are relevant, which are not. These all things were taken care by Scalar. So a bit more about my Scalar journey is like in Scale, I tried to go along with all the lectures because I was so excited. So I tried to do all the questions of homework and assignment as possible on the same day and the rest on the following weekend. So I think those 6 months were really good for me as I learned a lot of things which I don't think that those would have been possible without Scalar, especially the design part, both high level design, low level design. So okay, I will give example to everyone. Like I had already completed binary search topic. I knew how to write the code for binary search. I knew how to solve the problems related to binary search. But when we solved problems through during the course related to binary search, I never thought that those problems can be solved using binary search. Like those were the level of the problems we solved here, and that was the level of the code they have designed. Next best thing about Scalar is not only mentors or some point of contact we have with whom we can share our problems. I still remember I talked over 40 minutes on the call with Anshuman sir and more than an hour with Abhimanyu sir over call. And not only this, we have internal tools in the Scalar, so we can connect with other students and mentors. So I used to message them a lot, and they used to reply every single time, even when they are really irrelevant. So it is just, so all I'm saying, like, the support which I have got from Scalar is really huge. And so it is just 1.5 year of writing my first program, and I got selected for tier one company. I don't have a good college name on my resume. I don't have a background. I did not even have a full time job, but still I got selected. Uh, so yeah, this was about me, my personal journey and journey with Scalar.
Okay, awesome. That's a very inspiring story, Karan. Thank you so much for sharing. Because yeah, like I think some of the questions I'm seeing, I'll start highlighting a few questions. Everyone's very curious about how you managed to get where you are with just like 1.5 years of coding
Mhm.
experience from the day you wrote your first program to now. So I'm getting a lot of questions on YouTube. So I'll pick up each question and then I'll ask it to you, and then you can answer it.
Oh,
Okay.
sure, sure.
And at the end, I also have a few questions. I'll ask you that also. Very cool. So this is actually an interesting question. How do you develop your mind or convert your mind to do so? Because this is like the challenges you face are not simple. They're not easy challenges that most of us see, right? Like how did you get that drive and that motivation to do it? Like what inspired you? What pushed you to do what you
I was just jobless. I had to do something. Like, I have a friend, Subham Oli, so he guided me a lot during that time. So nothing like that. I have converted my mind or something like that. It was just out of desperation. Like, I was jobless and all, so I had to do something.
do? Understood, understood. So let's see, what are the question can we ask? Cool. The next question is, how did you improve your math ability? So what resources did you use? And
Mathematical concept, like, uh, I was already good in mathematics, so nothing extra I did to improve my mathematical concepts. Like, I just solved DS algo questions, which really helped me to improve my logics and all. So nothing out of the blue I did.
understood, understood. Cool. So we're getting a few questions on LinkedIn also. So one interesting question. So someone wants to know, how did you even, how were you able to even, crack the Scalar Academy entrances? Because the test is not simple. We try to get the best students in India possible. So like, how did you prepare for it? How did
So
you
as I
manage to
said,
crack?
before the Scalar exam, I was already practicing for the 2 months DS algo questions on Hacker Rank and Interview Bit, both in both the platforms. So yeah, so it helped me. Like, I had already covered topics like disjoint sets, graphs, arrays, strings. Every topic I had already covered. So I did not even solve all the questions on Scalar exam. Like, I solved just three as far as I remember out of five, 3 or 3.5. So it was not that tough.
Understood, understood. So one question connected to this, someone wants to know, what are the best sources to practice before getting into Scalar? So what websites did you use? What textbooks did you use? Did you
Okay.
have any friends in the industry you spoke to? Stuff like that. Where did you learn in order to even get into Scalar?
Okay. I will say, try to get all the 6 stars on Hacker Rank and complete few topics like arrays, strings, maths, and binary search on interview bit. I think these two things will be enough to clear Scalar exam.
Understood. Okay, cool. So Shrikant Manda has another question. So he has 5 years of experience in IT and support at a service company. He wants to know whether, from your experience, will Scalar be like a good next step for him?
I think you can answer this one like better than me, because
Oh, I would
according
I
to me,
would
yeah,
highly
it
recommend it.
will be helpful.
You're
Okay.
someone who's been in the program, so you know this.
According to me, yeah, it will be helpful. You will cover all the topics from the start, like from array to graph to dynamic programming. You will do both high level design, low level design. You will even do the project. So I think it will be helpful for you. It doesn't matter how much experience you already have.
Understood. So I'm not sure whether this question is relevant, so you'll also know best.
Uh,
Like, what language did you learn first? How did you select
okay.
which language to start with?
I started with Java. For around 2 months, there I watched some lectures on YouTube of Durga Soft and all. So then I learned Python. Means the first job I got using Python only. I gave that interview in Python. But yeah, I learned Java as my first language.
Understood. Uh, so this is Mervin has a question. So which language to choose when you start doing DSA?
I just use Java. I don't do data structure and algorithm in any other language. So I seriously cannot comment on it.
Understood. Okay, cool. So let me see what are the questions we get on LinkedIn. Cool. LinkedIn, I think the similar questions to this. So we'll just wait for some time for more questions to come. And so I have a few questions to ask you because I'm also very curious about your journey. So in the meantime, I'll keep putting my questions in the middle. Is that all
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool, cool, cool. So next question is, so why did you even decide to change from mechanical engineering to computer science? Because mechanical engineering is a pretty interesting field on its own, right?
Okay,
Like
not
were you
for me.
always
Seriously, I do not even remember my subjects there. I know how I passed all the exams. So I seriously don't
okay?
consider mechanical is as a good branch. At least for me. Just for me, not for others.
Understood. So your interest, like it was in computer science. That's why you made the shift,
No, I
right?
did not have any interest. I was just playing cricket in college. Nothing else. Nothing else.
I got it. Okay, okay, okay. Cool. So the next question is, so through your entire journey, right? Like, how did you sustain your motivation? Because, like you said, you were desperate and you wanted a good job. But like a lot of people are desperate in this country. But people, not everyone uh, makes it to where you are. So, what drove you? Like, what was your source of motivation?
Okay, obviously it was not me alone. Like as I said, when I was developing my first project, I talked to my friend, which I said Shubham Oli. So like he said, you should know this to like server side, client side, database. So there were so many things. Even I got depressed. Like I was not even getting the meaning of those words. So he helped me a lot. So obviously you need a friend also. Alone, I don't think anyone sitting at home can do that. So I just have few friends who helped me a lot during this time. And later, Scalar was there for the last 6 or 8 months. So I was never
And
alone. So you can see that.
correct. So I think having that community is also very, very important. Right? You
Yeah,
need
obviously.
need people around you to tell you where you go wrong, to like inspire you when you're feeling low. So I think
Yeah,
having the community helps us a lot.
yeah, obviously.
Got it. Okay, cool. So we're getting a lot more questions now. Uh, let's see. Yeah, so Alok has the next question. So how was your interview in ShareChat?
Okay, it went fine. Like, yeah, obviously everyone asks about the background and all. So just I told you, I told them also, and the interview experience was also really good. There was multiple rounds. One round of design, 2 rounds of design, one of a DSL go, another with VP. So those are the 4 rounds which they took. So yeah, interview experience was good there. No, I seriously do not remember the questions which I cannot tell they here.
Right. Okay. So the next question we go to Anu Garg. Yeah. So how do you manage projects on your CV because you didn't have as much time to work on projects because you weren't in the field?
Okay, so for the first job, what I did, I just tried to copy codes from the YouTube lectures. So those were the projects I mentioned on my CV for the first job, and after the first job, I just removed those. I just the all the projects which I have in my resume are from clear types, like from my working experience. I do not have any personal project on my CV right now.
Understood. Understood. Hmm, let's see. Okay, again, similar question, but maybe you can help Saharsh here.
Projects or DSL go. Okay, this question even I asked when I was moving to uh, IT branch. Like my friend, which I just mentioned, Suvam Oli, he told me to do 250 questions of DSL go, and any company would love to have you. And there was someone else who told me that just get to know if else and while loop, and you are good to make project. I chose the other one. Like I focused on DSL go, but projects uh, are also project also matters a lot. So It depends on person to person. Like for me, DSL goes matters most because it helps you to clear first 2 or 3 rounds in any company.
Understood. Got it. Got it. So I think the part differs from person to person, right? The strategy differs. But this is your strategy.
Yeah, okay.
Got it. Cool. So Anand has a question again. I've asked you this I think twice or thrice, but just to answer on.
Okay, yeah, I said even I got you are just talking about lacking focus and motivation. I even got depressed. So you have to surround yourself. It means if you do not have anyone, like talk to your friends or try to get into a community related to the topic and all. So yeah, only that can help. Like alone you cannot do alone. Yeah, obviously it will be difficult. You need to have a community here.
Understood. Got it. So the community is the
Yeah.
most. Got it. Got it. So Province has an interesting question. Yeah. So what is your background at ClearTax? What was your day-to-day responsibilities? What project did you work on?
Okay, at Cleartex, I was in Save team. Save is means mutual fund team. So I was in back end. So there was multiple things I did. Like okay, those things I have mentioned in my resume. If anyone wants it, I will display that because there are a lot of projects I cannot keep on talking of on every project here.
Understood. Okay. Okay. Let's see. What other can we? Oh, interesting. So Archit has a very relevant question. So I think this webinar is happening at the right time for him.
Any suggestions that you can give me? Okay, I haven't even joined ShareChat right now, so but I can say like hiker rank like it is similar like other DSL Go contest you take part on. So just be normal. I hope you will clear it. If you can do questions on code stuff and all, you will clear this one also.
So Archit is going to do well tomorrow.
Yeah,
I'm very sure. Okay. So another question Province has.
good. Okay, okay. I seriously do not have answer. I'm not a full stack developer, and neither I know anything about machine learning, so I cannot answer this one.
Okay. Cool. So let's see. Let's check on LinkedIn. Anything else? So far nothing. Everything other questions that you've already answered. So I won't ask you to repeat those. Uh, Interesting. So I think we'll wait for like 2 more minutes. I'll ask you other questions from my list. Uh, so another question that's something like people in different fields have to do. How do you stay up to date with developments in the field and developments in the industry? What resources do you use? Do you read the news often, or like how do you keep up to date with like new technologies, the new what happening in the industry, which companies are good to join, stuff like that. How do you keep yourself updated?
Okay, which companies to join? Even but what I used to do, I used to message a lot of recruiters and all, like if there are openings. So regarding the job openings, I got to know from them. And the other things like there are so many online editorials you have related to technology. Like in GitHub also there is a page for Netflix, so you will get technical contents there also. So you can follow those pages and editorials.
Got it. Is there like any textbook or any like non-fiction book that inspired you? For example, like there's this book by a guy called Ben Horowitz, which a lot of people in the industry like. So is there like any such book that you can think of that really got your mind into the state?
Uh, non-fiction books. Yeah, I have read many books, but still my favorite is fictional ones like Agatha Christie and Nightingale. Those books.
Okay, okay,
Non-fiction book. There's one from Robin Sharma, I think.
okay.
So there are two books from him. Like I really like those books.
Got it. Interesting, interesting. So, so if you were to pick one person, from your friend circle or from your colleagues, who would you consider to be your mentor over the past year and a half?
Okay, I'm seriously really thankful to one person in my in at ClearTech, like Nikhil. His name is Nikhil Verma. So others can even search for him. So
Okay.
he even taught me how to debug from the smallest thing to the means everything he has taught me. So I'm really thankful to him. If he is watching this or not, I don't know. So yeah, he's the one. He's
We'll
obviously
send
not,
this link to him
but he
if he's
is
not here.
really doing in his career,
Okay.
doing really good.
Nikhil Verma, you said, right?
Yeah.
Understood. No, even if he's not here right now, we'll send him the link after it's done, so he'll watch it anyway. You can send it to him. He'll be the most happy.
Yeah, obviously.
Awesome. So can you tell us a little bit more about the startup that you and your friends founded? What was it about? What did you do? What are the challenges you face?
They are in for athletics, right?
No, the company that you founded before Clearance.
Arey, whoa. It was just an offline business, like t-shirt printing business. Nothing much. Like we got fooled by many people, obviously, who were trying to sell their machines and all to us. So we were too novice, you can say, like beginners. So did not have any idea of how to enter in the business world and all. We just tried to do it out of desperation. We did not have job and all. So yeah,
Mhm.
it did not go really well.
Achha. But I think it's a good life experience, no? Like you know
Obviously,
what
yeah.
not to
Even
do.
one of the companies I converted, they were means a really good company. The one round, in one round I had to explain everything about my business for 1 hour. So it
Wow.
really helped me.
Okay. There's a lot of practice that you will not get in a classroom. I'm very, very
Yeah,
sure. This is a
obviously.
life experience.
Yeah,
It's very
it is
hard
a
to find.
major experience which I had to tell in 1 hour.
Wow. Okay, cool. Now we have a lot more questions on YouTube. Um, okay, so Mervin has another question.
How did you apply? Can you show? I just pinged them. Like I saw a post that where they were hiring for SD2 or SD3. So I just asked them if they are hiring for SD1 also. So yeah, I just directly messaged one of their employee.
Okay, understood. So Alok has another question. I'll open that.
I, I do not know C or C++.
Okay, so you started in Java, right? Java is your
Yeah,
primary
I
language.
started with Java and I'm Python a bit.
Okay. Oh, this is a cool question by Sankalp. I mean, I know you haven't joined yet, but do from the people you have met, what is it?
Also, okay, the people I have met, like they are really cool. Like even when I was doing wrong, they were correcting me. Like the interview experience was really, really good. So about the environment at ShareChat, I do not know that. I can share it after joining. So
We'll do
interview
another
experience
webinar in a
really
few
good.
months.
Yeah,
I see.
interview experience was really good.
Yeah, because the VP does is like a very, very approachable person on
Yeah,
LinkedIn. He's very.
VP, he took one round. So yeah, he was really, really, really cool. He just asked some basic questions like about my background, nothing technical and all.
Ah, interesting. Okay. Let's see the next question. Okay, I'm not sure whether you'll be able to answer this, but I'll just put it up anyway.
Okay, for algorithms, I have just one book. This one. I have studied just this one. This again was recommended by my friend Shubham Oli. I do not have any other book related to algorithms. So I cannot review anyone. I cannot give advice about the books.
Understood. So you just use one book, right? That's
Yeah.
the got it. And you keep it next to you also. That's very nice to see. Okay. So let's see. Anything else on LinkedIn? No, nothing new on LinkedIn. A lot of repetitions. Okay, cool. So let me ask you one of my questions. Uh, again, one just a very generic question. Like, what do you have any from you? Because you have very varied experience, right? Starting up and studying mechanical engineering. What advice do you have for juniors currently in college who want to get into like software engineering?
Like I will say, like there are so many people who are doing projects, who are doing freelancing. It is good. Like, but you should also focus on data structure algorithms. What I have seen in my colleagues, like they were so focused on project building, like they did not used to focus on data structure algorithm. I think it is one of the important part. Like for any big companies, for the first 2 or 3 rounds, you have to clear using the DS algo only. So I think you should focus on this subject at any cost.
Understood. So let's see. Vivek has a new question.
I have always thinking about the fact that I should focus more on learning new technology or focus more on things. Um, DSL ko you should focus on, like, you should know every topic. Competitive programming, like, I'm not saying you should resist a lot in competitive programming, but again, DSL Go will help you to clear first 2 or 3 rounds, because even if you know new technologies, you will not able to justify this, because first you will be rejected in the first 3 rounds. So I think you should focus on both of these side by side.
Got it, got it. So let's see. Abu Bakr has another question.
So you have to IT guy who's about to graduate from a college looking for a full stack job. Again, the same advice: work on your programming skills, work on DSL Go. You should know this. You should know this topic. Do some really cool projects. Only 3 or 4 projects will be good enough. Means one big project and 2 or 3 small projects will be good enough to land you a good job.
Cool. So a lot of other questions are repetitions. Interesting. So let me ask you another. Uh, yeah, so what was the coding culture like in your college? Was there a coding culture? Were there other coders?
In
What was it
college,
like?
again, like, I never thought that I will go into the IT. So I really do not know. I know a lot of CS people, but I do not know. I did not even know that there is a subject called data structure and algorithm. So I
Wow.
seriously do not know, like, what they used to do, what not.
That is so interesting. Without even knowing what DSR goes in college, still you manage. Like I
Yeah,
think that shows that college for a lot of us doesn't teach us, what we actually want to learn. Doesn't even tell us,
thank
what there is
you,
to learn.
obviously. Thank you, Scalar and my friends Shubham Oli.
Yeah, yeah, your friends. I think that's fantastic. Having like good friends.
Like,
Uh,
he doesn't do much DSL Go, but he advised me, do 250 questions and you will be good enough for any company. So
wow,
he seriously plays a really important role in my this journey.
very very cool. Okay, let's see. What other questions can we pick up? Hmm. So Rohan, let's pick up Rohan's question.
How much time and daily dedication? I think if you are not doing anything, like, you can do it for whole day. Like, no one is stopping you. Like, alongside job, when I had the job, so I used to do it for around 3 to 4 hours daily and put some little more hours in on the weekend. So 3 to 4 hours daily, like, will be good enough for you.
Okay. Hmm. Let's see. Let's take Vaibhav's question.
So playtime is really cool. Like, you will enjoy a lot if you are joining. Managers and all are really, really, really good. So overall company culture is good. Please do not go with the Glassdoor rating. It might be 3.6 or something, but they deserve more than 4.
Wow, very cool. Where is their office in Bangalore? What area?
It's near Bomanalli, AMR Tech Park.
Ah, okay. Let's see. Pragya's question.
It seriously depends upon whether you are experienced or fresher. For fresher, any good project from internet, there are a lot of good projects you can get. For experience, obviously, your companies, what you are doing in company matters a lot, because everywhere I just explained whatever I did in company in the last 1 year, nothing else. So for the fresher, you can have any project. Like, even if you go to Geeks of Geeks, you will get a lot of projects. So you can do any 2 or 3 of these.
Yeah. Let's pick up Mervin's.
Again, my friend again Shubham Oli, he advised me to go for Java. Like,
Okay.
he is the one who was already working in IT, so whatever he said, I just went for it.
The power of good mentors and good guidance.
Yeah,
You don't
like,
have to
he
think
is
about all of
really
these
good,
questions.
good guy, so that's why I just blindly followed him.
Understood. Understood. So a lot of the other questions are coming have been repetitions of what we've already answered. So I won't pick up those. Let's see. I think I've already asked all of my questions, so we'll just wait like for a few minutes and see if any interesting new questions come. I think people are joining. in the last 5 minutes, so they haven't seen the questions you've already answered. So they'll have to watch
Mhm.
the video post the webinar. That's fine. Just look on LinkedIn also. Okay, this is a very vague question, but I think if you have a point of view.
Are internship compulsory for placement? Okay, as I said, I started after the college, 1.5 year after the college. So I applied for job directly. But yeah, in the meanwhile, when I was not getting the calls and all, so I applied for internships also. But still, even I did not get any call for internship also. So thankfully, I got the job. So I do not have any internship experience. So cannot comment on this.
Got it. But you definitely think having internship experience is useful, but I think it's not necessary. Uh,
Maybe like you can answer better this one.
yeah, I know. I think it's definitely internships are useful, even if it doesn't like give you too much technical ability. You get like, used to like the whole company environment,
Yeah, office
how to be
culture
a good
and all
employee.
you know.
Right? And like worst case, it's just a fun thing to do. You'll make friends. You'll meet people like your mentors. Uh, Parish is saying I missed a question. Where is it? No, Parish, I can't see the question. Please post. Just like this question. So, how many? I mean, your interviews at ClearTax and ShareChat, was CGPA at all relevant?
Like even if CGPA is relevant, why will anyone consider my CGPA? My CGPA is in mechanical,
Yeah,
so I don't think for
skills
me
are
it
completely
matters
different.
anywhere. Yeah,
You can be like a 10.0
yeah,
CGPA in
even
mechanical, but still
10.0,
not
it
know.
is same for me. Like so for me, yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think you just need some ways to like display your skill. It could be through CGPA if you're in a CS department, or it could be through projects or like work experience. I think it
Yeah,
depends on the
obviously.
person. Depends
Even
on
the
where.
ratings matters. I think.
I'm also not from a CS background. Okay, cool. So what else? Hmm. Again, a lot of the questions are repetitions. What book did you use? What's the procedure to get into Scalar? Uh, I think a lot of the questions are getting repeated now. I think people are joining later. So we'll give it now. It's 5:33 p.m. So at 5:35, if you don't get anything unique, we'll close it. And then if needed, we can always do like a follow-up webinar, or you can answer the questions in like an email or something like that. So
Okay,
I don't
sure.
want to take up too much of your time also, because you've been nice enough to give us so much of your time on a Sunday. So Ronak wants to know which coding platforms you use. What is your username, so maybe they can check your profile out.
I use CodeChef, Interview Bit, and HackerRank. HackerRank after the 6 star I have never used. So after Scalar, obviously there are so many questions on Scalar only. So never got the time to use any other platform, even CodeChef.
Got it. Understood. Okay, Karan, I think most questions are no longer relevant. Some question. Okay, let's take up this one. So Faisal asked whether you reached out to ShareChat on your own, right?
Yeah, I use to ShareChat on my own.
Got it. Understood.
Yeah.
Then Nishant has another question. In a journey, what's the best decision to take it? Oh, interesting question. Prasad, that's a very cool question. Very
So, what decision was to take mechanical? What decision was to take IT? And
I
apart from
can't
that,
hear you. Your voice is.
everything is going good. Like company means to my left, I am getting a good company, all always good companies, mentors, and then scalar. Everything happens means everything is good from then on. Like there is no worst decision. It's all any DSL go. Like I think I saw in one of the interview they are okay. If you this question is asked by Rohan Gupta. Do companies ask questions of math also or only DSL go like competitive programming? So in one of the interview I solved math question also, and the rest I solved mainly DSL go questions. But it involves maths also. Like nothing in DSL go is not DSL go is not without mathematics. So you are if you are talking about mathematics which you see in competitive programming, yeah, in one of the interview I solved question of that type also.
Got it. So I think that's all, Karan. I think most questions are getting repeated. I think they'll get the answer just by watching the video after the webinar. So I
Okay,
think I think we're done for today. Thank you so much, Karan. This is so nice of you. Uh, Getting anyone to do anything on a Sunday is like a challenge, but you have volunteered to do this for us. That's extremely
thank
nice
you,
of you. Thank you so much again. And congrats again, man. Like, absolutely inspiring story. We're very proud of you.
thank you, thanks a lot.
Cool, Karan. Have a good evening.
Okay, bye.
Yeah. Bye bye.